Mpho Tshabalala is full of strength, resilience and passion, a driving force behind the scenes and the executive producer of the highly anticipated biopic Nkalakatha, The Life of Mandoza. Her dedication to honoring her late husband's life and musical genius inspired upcoming artists. As executive producer, she brings her passion and attention to detail and ensures that her husband's story is authentic and with the utmost respect. Well, Mpho Tshabalala is here to tell us more about the biopic. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, sis. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Talk to us about the decision to take on the role of executive producer. You could have easily said, okay, somebody else must tell the story and then I'll just, see the finishing product, but you took an active role.
I had to take an active role because, number one, remember, we used the original wardrobe. So I had to make sure from wardrobe, everything, and the story is told properly. This is the man that I was with for donkey years. So I had to be part of this because also I'm the one that made a decision that I want the story told. I feel like black stories are not told enough. Yep.
Speak to us about the story. What is the Nkalakatha story about?
Nkalakatha's story is a 3-in-1. I call it a 3-in-1 because there's a young boy called Mpho. There's a father, there's a husband, there's a friend, there's a boy called Mpho, and there's an artist called Mandoza. So we're telling a story of a 38-year-old in 6 episodes, but 3-in-1 that he lived with as a young boy, as a husband, as a lot of things. But it's like telling a story of someone that was known as Mandoza, but now I'm letting you in on Mpho and Utemkos, a young boy, why other things happened in his life. Yep.
Speak to us about that process and what did it teach you about yourself and what you learned about him afresh. You have to tell the story again, with somebody that you lived and that you've known for so many years.
I started all over again to relive my life, being on set every day. And there were things that I also discovered because I wanted to tell a truthful story. I wasn't going to tell a priest story. Yaga Mandoza. Mandoza was never a priest. He was just this guy full of life. So I wanted to tell a story and say, let me be in on the other things I didn't know about him also when he was not at home. Who was this man with friends? So friends, come, let's interview you guys. What did you get up to? And I'm like, wow, okay. Wow, okay, interesting. Yeah. So I'm telling a truthful story. Obviously, we're doing it for TV and we're also going to put some drama in it, but it's a black story, a beautiful story. I ended off by saying, Indoding namhlanje sasiphinde vuka. Yep.
Talk to us about the challenges that came with working on this biopic and how did you overcome those?
One of my biggest challenges is that the emotional part. Like, when we had to act out, when I had my stroke, I never thought that, it was that deep. Because remember when I had my stroke, I couldn't walk and talk, so I had to start all over again. So when I saw Lorraine acting out that part, I was like, wow, I'm blessed to be alive. And also my wedding, I'm like, oh, that was not a wedding, it was a street bash. Yeah. It was full of emotions, like happy, sad, and also, the last days, him being sick, him being totally blind. I was like, oh, wow, that was heavy. So it was a roller coaster full of emotions. Yeah.
Did it give you some sort of, and I don't want to use the word closure because you never really have something called closure when it comes to grief, but did it sort of almost come full circle for you?
Almost, it did. I say it's part of my healing journey because I'm not ending here. Also, there's still other things that I'm doing. There's still new music to be released. So it's part of this, also telling the story. It's part of my healing journey because we never spoke of death, so it just happened. And I was like, the worst part, he passed on my birthday. So it's part of my healing journey. And now I can speak about his last moments without shedding a tear that much, emotionally. So I can never heal fully. It's a process. You learn to live without that person.
Yeah. Yep. And what aspects of his life do you want this biopic to be, portrayed accurately? And is that part of the reason you came on board as well to be the executive producer, so that those aspects of his life that, are portrayed accurately?
I think each and every part from a young age that I think also when I met him, I met this young boy, thuggish looking, from Zola, and Zola was known for this gangster thing. So I want people to also fall in love with the same person that I fell in love with, Mtotozi. And also, they must know the guy that was portrayed very bad out in society, that, you know what, this was just a father, this was just a husband, this was just a young boy, you know, he was everything. The pressures that he had also. And when you are never prepared for such a big fame, you never know how to handle it. So it will comes with the ups and downs. And also, for me telling the story, I hope upcoming artists learn, you know, from the story, that, you know what, there are things that you should not go to. Don't touch, don't even go there, don't attempt it. Yeah.
What decisions came with this executive producer role? What decisions did you have to make, you know, to make sure that the story is also authentic?
First of all, I had to consult with my kids. My kids are my strength. They're my business partner. I call them my business partners. Even the youngest 13-year-old, Ukarabo, they're my business partner. So I spoke to them first, and also I had to decide which channel. I went with BET because I feel BET represents telling black stories. Those are part of the decisions I went with.
And then what did it teach you about yourself?
That I'm still strong.
Yeah.
I'm still strong, because at times, you know, the past 7 years have been hard living without him. But doing this biopic has told me that you're good. You can still do this.
Keep going.
Keep
what
going.
do you think he would think of it?
He'll be smiling. I say from his funeral, I think he was standing there. If there's a gate where they all stand and say, hey, come and see my funeral. And call all the other ones and say, even now, he's standing by that gate. I don't know. I've never been to heaven. He's like,
good going.
Good going. I think that's why I say he was never ready to depart. But he said yes, knowing that, you know what, I trust that woman, he'll do good with my legacy. So that's why I'll always continue with the legacy until the day I go.
All right, Mpho Tshabalala, thank you so much for talking to us this morning. She is the wife of the late Mandoza, who is the executive producer of Nkalakatha. The Life of Mandoza shared some of the most memorable moments and the upcoming biopic.